Chris, thank you for somehow volunteering to come back and chat again. Yeah, I just wanted to kick off by getting you to do a demo of your product now that it's been rebranded, and heaps of people watched our other video and were quite intrigued about your tech, man. So yeah, over to you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you very much for having me again. It's great to be on. So yeah, we've the last one was kind of our first iteration where we kind of threw just a load of stuff together on a website and then see how it went. So yeah, we've gone through I'd class as an official rebrand here. So we've kind of taken different aspects and different parts. So yeah, we've got a new logo, which is nice. If anyone puts us on a list now, we've got a new logo. It's meant to signify the mountain of selling on a marketplace and how hard it is to get to the top. That's the concept behind it. But there's also a hidden kind of thing as well. So you can see the F and the A and the I hidden in, which I thought was quite cool.
Thanks.
I don't know if you do.
No, I didn't notice any of that, but thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then we've moved websites. We were kind of on a one page before, which kind of made us really static. And we've moved over to a more comprehensive website, which one makes it quicker, and also it just makes it slightly more aesthetically pleasing. So we are in the process of going through. So by the time this goes out, the website will probably look slightly different again, because this is the first stage of the new website. Got a nice little scroller here, simplifying even. And then if we go down here, we've got the tool. So let me just do a refresh, because I have already been using the tool today. And then if you just go down here, whenever the tool loads, it automatically goes to Seller Central, because around about 70% of our queries go through this one part here. And then you can either click a test question, or you can type something in yourself just to make it really easy. Click on that, click search or click enter, and then it'll just come up with some information. While that's loaded, it'd be really good if you've got an ASIN to hand, because I didn't want to put in one of my ASINs and they'd be like, oh, well. So if you've got any ASIN of any product.
Let me just check. I'll try and pull one off Amazon Australia. Just give me 1 second.
Ideally, at the moment, we only do .co.uk, .com, and .de. So we've only got 3. So anything on any of those would be great.
Okay, let me see if I can pull something up. Here we go. All right, so I've just put it. Pick this one up, Chris. See how that goes.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just coming to the chat. Lovely. Yeah, so what it'll do is it'll answer the question, search through our knowledge base for the answer. It'll amalgamate different documents together to try and give you the most comprehensive answer. It's not always 100% correct, but a lot of the time it is correct. And what happens with these questions, these answers, they actually come back through to us. So we can actually see what people are typing in, what the responses were. If the AI can't answer, then we do build out documents based on what we believe to be the correct answer. And with any of the AI stuff going around now as well, the outputs are generally better the more you input into it as well. So we've had a few people that just literally just write 1 or 2 words. So if you can put comprehensive sentences in there and give it more information, then the better the answers tend to be. We also have the copy feature, the thumbs up and the thumbs down. The thumbs down, you can basically just tell us why it wasn't right or why it isn't true or whatever. And then we can kind of filter them out a lot easier than going through every single question. So it's really good when people do that, because it makes the AI better. So on that particular one, you can just restart there. If you want to ask another question, you continually ask it questions. And then we've got all these different tools here. So seller, vendor, eBay, Etsy are all pretty much the same. And then we have a few other ones on here. So listing, if you click onto that, it's kind of just like a listing creator, but it's not going to beat like the other great tools out there, because we don't have the keywords in the back end. But what we were finding is that when we had a separate one, when people are typing as the seller section, they just kept on asking it for listings, and then it just made it really hard for us to go through the back end and kind of filter stuff out of what was questions and what the answers were, etc. So we just separated it for the time being, which has helped massively, and less people are asking it to build listings now. So I think at some point we'll just take that off, which is better for us. Yeah. Because originally when we first launched, I think it was close to like 25% or something. I can't remember the exact amount, but people are asking it to build listings, and we were like, it doesn't build listings. It's not there for that. It's to give like analysis and question and answers. It's not really a listing builder.
Yeah,
what it can, yeah, but what it can do is it can come up with concepts. So infographic concepts, A+ concept, brand store concept. It can come up with alternative keywords. It can group keywords, and it can also write a plan of action. So, and you can just literally drop one or two things in here. So again, the idea behind the whole thing is to try and make it as easy as possible, so you don't have to pre-prompt and you don't have to keep on going through. So you can literally just, you can click on one of these here, or you can basically put your own.
Interesting. Okay. Speaking of listings, right, while this is loading, I gave you an ASIN before.
Yes.
What do you want to show with that?
Yeah, let me do it live. Let's just wait. We'll have to wait for this one to load. Or in fact, I'll just refresh the page. It makes it a bit quicker, doesn't it? So we've got two different tools that will take live data now. So everything apart from ASIN Analyzer and Review Analyzer doesn't have live data in there. It's not connected to the internet. But with ASIN Analyzer, and both of these tools are in beta, they actually only launched this week. You can put in an ASIN. Was it .co.uk or .com that you give?
UK.
.co.uk. Cool. And what it should do, is basically take the information from the listing and offer some kind of actionable insights.
So it's telling you about what it's seeing on the listing, is it right?
Yeah, so basically it's pulling the information from the listing and then it's breaking it down into different sections. Again, it's very early stages. Literally, I think it was, it's only like 2 days it's been active, so we're still kind of fine-tuning the prompting at the back. But yeah, it'll just kind of pull stuff from there.
So is it telling you as the user anything that's like hard or can't be gleaned from just looking at this as a human looking at the listing? Or what's the thing that it's adding value to here to the user?
Yeah, so I think it's easy for me and maybe for you and people that sell on Amazon, like high-level sellers, 6-7-figure sellers. But if you're a marketplace manager, for example, at a company, like you're not always going to know like the exact kind of what to look for on the listing. You might be using another app like Helium 10 or something to go through the listing, which will say, yeah, you've got 5 images, which is great, or you've got this and you've got that. This kind of digs in a little bit deeper to say, well, actually, customer persona for this product could be individuals or families looking for high quality, durable and comfortable bedding. So it's just kind of giving you some insights. Again, it's very top level at the moment because we're not fine-tuned it. But it's just looking at all the different parts that make up the listing and just see if you've got those covered and what else you could be looking at, essentially.
Interesting. And where do you see this? I know you've got probably a lot going through your mind, but where do you see this particular functionality evolving to? Like, obviously, like you said, it's the tip of the iceberg, right? So where can you go with this?
Yeah, so I mean, we're limited to what we can see on page, to be perfectly honest, but there's quite a lot on page. What I'd like for it to do at one point, and I don't even know if this is technically possible, is to actually not just look how many images you've got, but like the style of images, and to look at the images and say, well, actually, do these images match what you'd class as an infographic, and is it pulling out the features, the bullet point, the features, the advantages, the benefits? That would be where I'd like to go to, but I don't even know if that's possible. I mean, it should be in theory, in with the speed of AI at the moment, maybe in a week or so. But so yeah, that's where I'd like it to be able to get to. But it's just pulling out kind of different things in here, like just things that might come second nature to someone who's been doing it a long time. But maybe if you're working on an Amazon account and you're originally from the accounts department or something, people are in these situations. So if you're a massive seller, then you might not get a huge amount of value. But the tool is predominantly based towards like people who are kind of new, or they don't have the experience of someone like yourself or someone who's selling 7 figures. They might be working as in a company doing this job as opposed to it being their own company.
Get it. Okay. Look, in the couple of minutes or 5 minutes we've got left, Chris, do you want to show us 2 other, like, I guess 2 of the most popular things that are used or asked, or just the most common use case? 2 examples.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, we've kind of already loaded those in. So they're already preloaded as questions on here. Okay. And that's kind of where we took them from. So the questions do tend to fall into like buckets of questions, really, which I have got, but I've not got into hand. And it's kind of like, how do I do this? What do I do in this situation? What happens here? So yeah, they tend to be like the main ones, but that's kind of, you can have a play about with these questions if you want to have a look, but they tend to be the most common ones, is the ones we've just loaded into there.
Get it.
Yeah. And then it's similar with the review analyzer. It just kind of goes through the reviews and it's looking at like most frequently used keywords within the reviews and customer sentiment and what kind of a person would be looking to buy this product, etc. This one takes a little bit longer because it brings in a lot more information and it has to string quite a few things together. Not much longer though. There we go.
Interesting. So this is just so I understand the backstory behind having review and analyzer. So there are probably people out there manually going through reviews, trying to like glean some headlines, and this is the shortcut. Is that really what this is for?
Pretty much, yeah. And there is already tools to do something similar, but again, the main aim for us is to make it, especially for new sellers and people who haven't got their own business and doing 7 figures on Amazon via their own FBA businesses. Those people who work at other businesses, they can just come in, drop an ace in, click send, and then it just brings back a mini report, and then it just gives you some kind of actionable insights off the back of that. That's the idea behind it. Again, these are the first versions of it, so they were only launched like 2 days ago. So by the time this goes out, hopefully they will be slightly better. But yeah, that's the idea, is you get the information from there, like what are the emotional triggers, suggestions for product improvement. The sentiment behind the reviews is mostly positive. Customers express satisfaction with the product size, quality, and softness and value for money. There are no negative or neutral feedback provided in the reviews. So
interesting. And the suggestions, just looking at this one, it's essentially saying offer a wider range of colors or patterns. So is that like a message that it's picked up from, I don't know, hundreds of reviews? Like how does it determine?
Yeah, so it depends how comprehensive the reviews are, basically. So it doesn't take every single review that's ever been written. It'll just take the most recent reviews. And also, due to the size of the reviews, it depends. Like if someone's put a really small review and then you've got 50 small reviews, then it's a lot easier for us to get all that data together. Whereas someone's put a massive review, then it makes it a bit harder. So it's just a bit of value to have a look through. And then, I mean, it's with a lot of these things, it's just a starting point. So now you could be like, I'm not suggesting you just go out and make like 50 new colors off the back of this, but now that you can kind of like look through the reviews yourself and to be like, well, actually, these customers are happy with it, or these customers weren't happy with that information. But it just gives you a nice starting point. And that's what the tools do. Essentially, these shouldn't just be given as gospel. Like it's just coming up with concepts and ideas and things to look at and just advising you to look in the right places, really.
Interesting. All right. Well, look, you and I could probably talk about this for ages, man. I know I say that every time, but very interesting stuff, man. And I'm looking forward to the next release or iteration, as you call it. So, yeah, thanks again for showing us this, and I'm going to be talking about it for sure with everyone.
Thank you very much for having me again, mate. Much appreciated.